Today on Currie Explained, we're going to talk about Wilwood Axle Retainer Plates and how to properly install them. Hey guys, I'm John Henson for Currie Enterprises, and today I want to talk about the Wilwood Axle Retainer Plate. I know it sounds complicated, but it's actually a very important piece when installing the Wilwood brakes on a Currie 9-inch rear end. If it's installed incorrectly, you'll have problems with the axle seal leaking, or the axle actually might have end play, which means it'll pull in and out. So what I have here in front of me today is actually a crate rear end for a C10 Chevy truck, and it has no brakes installed, which you can purchase a crate rear end from Currie with no brakes. It'll ship to you just like this with your axle shaft installed loosely with our standard retainer plate on the axle. So what we want to do is we're going to actually remove the axle shaft from the rear end. So we're going to remove the nuts that hold on the retainer plate. There's 4 of them. And we're going to save those for later. Now the standard retainer plate is flat on both sides. That's what it's going to ship with. This would be if you were using a different disc brake kit or a drum brake kit. So it's going to be just flat on both sides. So we're going to take this off and put that to the side, and then your axle shaft will just pull right out of the housing. A little bit of effort. And now in the Wilwood kit, we're going to go ahead and pull out the backing plate. So in the box is the Wilwood backing plate, and it has the Wilwood Axle Retainer Plate right inside of it as well. So what we want to do is line up the 4 bolts to the T-bolts. Just like so. And then your axle is going to slide right down the middle. Okay, and then the Wilwood retainer plate that comes with the Wilwood Brake Kit is not flat on both sides. It's actually got a raised edge. And this raised edge needs to face the bearing. So with it facing the bearing, what it's going to do is this raised edge is actually going to push on the bearing and seal. And that's very important because it's going to eat up the room that the backing plate takes up. And the proper way to install this is actually going to be with the opening at the 12 o'clock position. We want it pointing upwards. So we're going to slide it from the bottom and then line it up with the T-bolts once the axle is in place. So we're going to go ahead and push the axle all the way in, like so. And then we want the retainer plate to line up with the nuts, just like that. So now you'll notice our Currie axle shafts, they have what's called a access hole in the flange. That access hole will line up with the T-bolts and where they go. And then with a impact tool, you would take it and line it up with those T-bolts to install them. Might help if you actually do it without it on the gun, so you can hold it in place just to start it by hand. So now that all the nuts are actually started, what we can do is we can take the access hole and line it up with that nut. We want to do it in a cross pattern, all right? So we're going to do the bottom one now. And we're just going to draw it in just a little bit, because then we want to take it to the top side. So after drawing it tight and actually getting this just to be snug, what we want to do is we want to torque this down to 35 foot-pounds. Same thing, we want to go across pattern so we can draw it all the way in. So we're going to use a torque wrench, set it to 35 foot-pounds, and then we're going to draw this in. And I'm probably not going to go all the way with it yet. I'm probably just going to take it a little bit and then go up to the top. So that way, again, like we're drawing it in, not all at once on one corner. All right, and then we're just going to repeat that process in the same pattern. And once we finally get to it and we take it to the 35 foot-pounds and we click it on and it's at 35, you're going to notice that the axle flange is going to be kind of hard to turn. That's very standard. Everything's brand new. Don't be alarmed. You don't have much leverage on this yet. There's not a wheel and tire out here, right? So if you're trying to just check it and see if it's tight and you're just trying to turn this and it's a little bit rough, it'll break in, guys. That's totally normal. You can probably still grab the yoke and move it a little bit, and that's, again, totally normal. I hope that helps if you guys are doing a Wilwood upgrade or installing Wilwood brakes on a Currie crate axle. If you have any questions in regards to how to properly do this, please do not hesitate to give us a call, send us an email, or leave a comment below. If you like this video, subscribe here. For more Currie tech videos, click right here. And for other Currie content, click right here. Thanks for watching, guys.